Hello students, welcome to Uni Classes of Right Way. Today we are going to start class 3 of statistics, in which we will prove second property of arithmetic mean. In last class, let us revise what we have done. In first property we have done that sum of all the observations taken from actual mean is always 0, and we have proved also. So in your course, in either Eco Honors or in BBE, both are of the similar type. You have to do what? We have to focus over these proving part, because they will ask you to prove the mathematical properties of arithmetic mean, then you will have to show this. And next one is property 2, sum of square of all the deviations is minimum if deviations are taken about actual mean. So if we take any assumed mean here, we will not find out it to be minimum. If assumed mean is replaced by actual mean, then this summation of whole square will be minimum. And we have verified with an example, but we haven't done proofing part. So today we will do the proofing part in our class 3rd. Okay, so let's start. Let y be the sum of x minus a whole square. And in MME, mathematical methods for economics, you might have read the process of finding maxima and minimum. Do you remember that if y is equal to certain fx is given, then first we have to find the derivative. Y dash is equal to f dash x, and we will equate with 0. We will get some stationary value. You might have read in chapter 9. We have done this stationary values, and then we check the second derivative at stationary values. If second derivative at these values, stationary values, is negative, then this is the case of maxima, and if it is positive, then this is the case of minima, if you remember these things. And if it is 0, it is inflection point. So here the only one thing which we need is that second derivative must be positive and first derivative must be 0. We have nothing to do with maxima and inflection point. Okay, so see here, we will find out dy by, with which value we have to find out? With a. So we will find out dy with respect to dA, dy with respect to dA. Now see, we will differentiate d of summation x minus a whole square with respect to dA. So there is one rule of differentiation that we can take in this d by dA inside the summation. If summation is there, we can take summation outside, and this will be d by dA of x minus a whole square. And if you remember how to differentiate, we can do this. This is the power rule. First 2 will come over here, and then x minus a, and then differentiating the inner part. Now with respect to a, x is constant, so it will be 0 and a will be 1. So this is taking minus 2 common. Here is minus 1 into 2, minus 2 outside, we will get x minus a summation. Is it okay or not? First derivative. If you don't remember mathematics, it may be like somewhat difficult for you, but you have to just practice and learn. This is the only type of question. No other question will be asked over this differentiation, so you can directly learn this derivation. Okay, no application based question on differentiation will be asked. Now see, now for stationary value, what we should do? For stationary values, we must equate dy by dx with 0. So here we will get minus 2 summation x minus a is equal to 0. So minus 2 taking on another side, it will be 0. So x minus a will be equal to 0. And this we can just expand it, open it. This is this. And in last class, do you remember? If certain constant summation is there, we just put n. If you remember the two rules I told you, that if certain constant is there, Cn, and if certain constant into x, then c into summation x. Okay, now see, so this is equal to 0 and summation x is equal to a, and we have to focus over the value of a. Why? Because in theorem it's written if a is equal to x mean, then we will find it to be minimum. So we have to find the value of a. That's why we are differentiating with respect to a, and we are finding the value of a here. So a will be equal to summation x by n. This is equal to x bar. So we have got a is equal to x mean as our stationary value, but we are not confirmed about whether this a will give us maximum value of y or minimum value of y. And if you see there, which value we are searching for? We are searching for minimum. So for minimum we will have to differentiate y twice. See here, 2 dash means second derivative. So here, what was our first derivative? Dy by dx, dA was, what was dy by dA? Minus 2 summation x minus a. Minus 2 summation x minus a. This is very important derivation. It may come in your paper, so you have to focus over it. See here. Now we are again differentiating dA2. So this minus 2 will be taken outside, and inside summation we will write down dA x minus a. X minus a. Now see, minus 2, and this x is unknown to a. X has no relationship with a, so we cannot differentiate it, and its derivative will be 0. So its derivative will be 0 and a will be minus 1. So what we are getting? Minus 2, and here minus 1 summation will be minus 1 into n. So this is plus 2n, which is always positive, hence case of minima. Hence case of minima, that is a is equal to x mean gives us minimum y, and this is what we were asked to prove, that this y will be minimum if a is equal to x bar. Is it clear? Is it okay? Yes. Zero minus 1. See here. Yeah, this is 0 minus 1 na. So this will be summation of minus 1, and you see this rule, if there is any constant like any number fixed value, minus 1 is also fixed value now, we can't change it term by term. So minus 1 into n, so outside it will be minus 1 into n, so it will be minus n. Is it okay? If certain x was there, so we couldn't do this. We can do this only if it is a constant. And if certain x was there, so suppose if there was summation 0 minus 1 into x, so we would have written minus summation x, that's it. We can't write it into n. N is multiplied only if it is without any variable, like there is no x, there is no y, like this way. Okay? Any other doubt? Amir, it might be difficult for you, but you have to learn. You have to learn. This is the question which I will tell you. Even if you don't get, you just learn it, because this is important derivation, and it is always asked in the paper. It is always in the mind of the teacher who is setting the paper that these two properties are important, and these two are not given in your book. Properties are given, but the proof is not given in a proper way. So they will ask to check the mental ability of the student. And this might your teacher might have also done in the class, if you will just compare the notes there. So this was the second property. Now we are moving to property 3. Is it okay, Amir? Okay, now we are moving to property 3. If we multiply, if we add or subtract any constant if we add or subtract any constant with all observation, with each of the observations, then mean is also affected in the same way. This is called change of origin. Sometimes if setter does not want to give such a long language now, so they may write what is the property of change of origin for mean. So you have to write this statement also, and you have to prove also. So see here, proof. Verification you can do, like verification is easy. What is the meaning of this we can understand by any easy verification. Suppose x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that its mean will be 15 by 5 is equal to 3. And suppose I am changing each and every value like x plus 2. Each and every observation is added or subtracted with any constant like this. 1 plus 2 will be 3, 2 plus 2 will be 4, 3 plus 2 will be 5, 4 plus 2 will be 6, 5 plus 2 will be 7. If you just add this all, 7, 6, 13, 5, 18, 4, 22 and 25. So its mean will be 25 upon 5 is equal to 3. So 5. So what you can just see the relationship if you just write it to y mean. So since y was x plus 2, so y mean is also x mean plus 2. You just see na, 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. So have you got the concept? If we just add or subtract any constant, it will be mean will be affected in the same way. That means suppose in a company we are providing extra bonus of 5,000 to each and every employee, and if their average salary was 50,000 earlier, so now in this month their average salary will be how much? 55,000. Okay, so this is the way we can just increment or we can just decrement by the property of mean. But here is a proof also, because in exam they will not ask you verification. Verification is for our better understanding, but they will ask you proof. So let y is equal to x plus c. Y is equal to x plus c, where c is any constant like 2, or you can just write down minus also. In proof you can show two operations if you are using plus in the upper part and minus in the subtraction in the lower part. So you have to continue in this manner till the last step of the proof. So see here, summation y is equal to, that means we are doing for two operations at a single time. Summation. So this summation will be distributed like this way. And now can you tell me, this summation x will be as it is, but summation c will become what? C into n, according to the statistics rule. If there is any constant inside the summation, then it will have n outside multiplied with it. Now do you remember this property? So this is summation y. Now divide each and every quantity with n. Why we are dividing with n? Because for average we need to find summation of observation upon number of observation. So it will be summation y upon n is equal to summation x upon n plus minus cn upon n. So this n will be cancelled and this will become y mean, this will become x mean, and see, plus minus, it is continued in the same way from the beginning. Now see, whatever was the relation between y and x, the same relation holds between x mean and y mean. So we have proved. If we are adding constant, so in average also we will have to add for the new average. If we are subtracting, then we will have to subtract from the old average to get the new average. Is it okay? Okay, and the last property is multiplication and division. The last one is property 4. After that we will do trimmed mean. Trimmed mean is a quite confusing concept students don't get from the college. So we are doing a lot of example and techniques that will help you, okay? But after this property 4. Now see, in property 4, if we multiply or divide with any constant, if we multiply or divide with any constant, then average, new average is also obtained by the same operation, or the average is also affected in the same way. We can write it out. Average is affected in the same way. Suppose if we are multiplying each and every observation with 2, if we are just doubling each and every observation, the new average will be double of the old average also. Same way. So in the same way, this is sometimes called change of scale. This is sometimes called change of scale. So it's also in the same way. You can verify, just to remember the property, that if x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we remember this mean we have calculated so many times, it is 3, and if we are just changing each and every observation, just multiplying 2 with x, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, if we just add all the values, 4, 2, 6, 6, 12, 8, 20 and 30, so y mean will be equal to 30 by 5 is equal to 6. And can't you see the relation that y mean is equal to 2 mean? So the same relation is holding between average also. This is the verification, but we have to focus over the proof. So here is the proof. If we just do y is equal to cx, if we just let that y is equal to cx, c may be greater than 1 or c may be less than 1, any value, then summation y will be equal to summation of cx. C can be taken outside and this is summation x. Then y, summation y and dividing with n. This is summation x dividing with n. So this will be y mean is equal to c into x mean. So here we have proved that it will be affected in the same way. Y is equal to cx will be affected in the same way. So whatever is the relation between old observation and new observation, the same relationship will be between old mean and new mean, isn't it? If it's okay, then we can move on the further property, that is trimmed mean. Fourth property, if we multiply or divide with any constant, the average will be also changed in the same way. Like see here, verification. Here is the verification. We multiplied every x with 2, then at last finding the average of the new observation, if we just connect it with the old observation, it's just double. Why this new observation is double of old? Because the new observation was double of old, so new average is also double of old average. If you just half each and every value, so average will also get halved. Is it okay? Do you want to do the proof once more? Proof also. So see here, proof. We just let it y is equal to cx. Taking summation on both this side, it will be summation y, and here c we can take it out now. This is the property. There are two properties that you have to learn, like this way, and c summation x. So this is c summation x, and we are just dividing with n. So summation y by n is equal to c summation x by n. And what is this summation x by n? This is x mean. And what is this summation y by n? This is y mean. So the same relation, you just see y is equal to cx, so it is y mean is equal to cx mean. Is it okay? Okay. So now we are moving to trimmed mean. Now we are moving to our next topic, and the last topic is trimmed mean. Why do we find a trimmed mean? When the trimmed word first time we hear trimmed word, the concept is coming like there is a plant and we are just trimming its leaf. This concept comes in my mind. Whatever comes in your mind, I don't recognize that. But trimming means just cutting, or just beard, just hair. So trimming means unwanted growth. If suppose you are trimming your beard or hair, some hairs grows now, and that becomes outliers, that we don't want to grow in certain way, so we are just trimming it. So the same way here data is also provided. If certain data is outside our range, if something is larger than the expected value, or something is like a very low value, very smaller value, so we can just extract it, we can remove it from our observation, and then we can find the average. Those values which we don't need, the highest maximum and the lowest minimum, these are called outliers. These are called outliers. So we are going to do an example from our book DeVore. I am telling you which page number it's given. Trimmed mean. Sample mean, median, trimmed mean. Example 1.16. if you have book, you can see. If you don't have book, you will be given PDF, page number 32, example 1.16. see here, and you must be ready with your calculator, simple calculator. The production of bidri is a traditional craft of India. Okay, in India there is certain, we also even don't know what is bidri, because India has so many varieties of culture. Bidri wears bowls, vessels and so on. Okay, bowls, vessels, all these handcrafts made from wood, made from stone, all these are called bidris, are cast from an alloy containing primarily zinc. All these languages are just useless. First thing I would like to tell you about the DeVore book, that it is for engineering student, and engineering student are familiar with all these words and languages, but we have to focus over the method, formula and data, because we are student of economics, so we don't have to take so much seriously the language of DeVore. But we are just ignoring the language of DeVore in examples, but the theory, calculation in example, formula, all these are very important. Okay, so I am just reading it in a hurry, it's not of our use. From an alloy containing primarily zinc along with some copper, consider this, listed in increasing order. Bidri ka the value is given, some values or data are given, like 2.0, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.6, 2.7, 2.7, 2.8, 3.0, so many values. I can't copy all the values, there are so many values, but I am counting you from the book. You can see in the book the values are given, if it is visible like this way. You can see now, example, it's there. Okay, now see, so I am just counting the values, how many values are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there are, n is equal to 13 into 2, 26 values. There are 2 rows now, so 26 values. And they are asking about trimming percentage of respectively. A trimmed mean with a trimmed percentage of 2 by 26, 2%. They are asking about x trimmed mean 2%. This is the notation we are using, 2%. 2% means that is 2% of 26 is how much? 2% of 26 is how much? 5.2. 2% of 26 is how much? 0.26 into 2, that is okay, no, they are asking something other, because in DeBoer one more drawback is there, that they are not separating the question and answer. So I will make you clear that up to which part the question is given and after which part the solution has already started. They are just explaining any example with all the solutions at the same time. So see here, they are asking 7.7% trimmed mean. So we have to do the just the trimming of 7.7%. So see here, how many observations are there? 26. So 7.7% of 26 will be how much? You just calculate with the calculator. I have got my calculator. 7.7 into 26 and then dividing with 100, it's coming to be 2. That means this 2 means we have to remove 2 from each side. We will remove and then find mean of rest of the values. Now first of all, what we have to do this, we have to confirm whether it is increasing or not. But thank God it's given in increasing order. See na, 2, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.6, 2.7, 2.82, like this way. So it's given in increasing order, so we don't have to arrange it. Let me write down some other values like 5.3 and 4.8, 4.7 and so on. Now see, so they asked us to calculate 7.7% trimmed mean. They are asking that what should be its value. So we just counted the number of observation and we are just finding the 7.7% of the counted observation, and it's 2. Sorry, I was thinking that it's highlighter. 2. So we have to just remove 2 from the lowest side and from the greatest side. 2 observation. So how many observations we will delete? This, and this. So earlier we had 26 values and now removing 4 values. How many values will be left there? How many values will be left there? New number of observations will be 26 minus 2, that is 22. So new trimmed mean will be just leaving these 2 and adding all the values like 2.5 plus 2.6 plus 2.6 up to 4.8 and upon 22. Okay, this we can find it out, and this will be 3.42. This already we have calculated, so it is not a big deal. So is it okay, trimmed mean? Yeah, from both the side. Till 4.8, no, we have removed 2.4, 2 lowest value and 2 largest value. Okay, yeah, these are the outliers na. Extreme maximum and extreme minimum we have to remove from the data, and now we are left with all these are our under control. We have to just add all the values and divide with its number of observations. So new number of observation will be 22. So let's do one more question. That will be very much helpful for you. Question number 33 on page number 34. So see here. The May 1, 2009 issue of the Monte Clarion reported the following home sale amounts for a sample of homes in Alameda, CA that were sold the previous month. All these are not so much useful. The data is given 590. Suppose X is given 590, 815, 575, 608, 350, 1285, 408, 540, 555, 679. They are asking 4 parts. Okay, first part is calculate mean and median. Calculate mean and median. So we can calculate mean, but median we haven't studied. So median we will do later on. Suppose the 6th observation had been, okay, first part let's do. So this we will do later on. What is mean? Can you tell me what will be mean? Mean will be simply just adding all the values and dividing with n. So adding all the values, and how much is n? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So summation of x upon 10. So we can do it. Summation is not a big deal if calculator is allowed in our paper, and that's always allowed. So we can find it out. So I am just taking the help of 640.5. 640.5 and median later on. Now see the second part. Suppose the 6th observation is had been 985. If they want to change the 6th observation rather than 1285, what does this mean? They want to replace 1285 with 985. How would the mean and median change? How would mean change? How would mean change? So see here. That means they want to replace first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. They want to replace it with what? 985. So we will find out the new mean. So just adding all the values, removing 1285 and adding 985. So see here. Summation x by n was 640.5. What is summation x? N was how much? 10. That means old summation was 6405, just multiplying with 10, and this is old summation when our data was not changed. But after changing data, new summation x will be 6405 minus, we have to remove 1285 and we have to introduce 985. So we will remove 1285 plus 985. There is a formula. Old summation x minus old values plus new values upon new n. But there is no change in n. This is the case of replacement. Now suppose there were 10 observation. I just removed one and I just added one. So number will be still 10. So we are dividing with 10. Is it okay or not? The concept is clear. This is called correction of mean. If certain value we have to replace 6405 minus 1285. So we are just replacing the old one with the new one, 6105 upon 10. So this will be 610.5. This will be the new mean. So we are finding new mean. Okay. Is it okay? Okay. Next one is, there are two more parts. Third part is calculate a 20% trimmed mean. That means trimmed mean 20%. So how many number of observations are there? 10. So 20% of 10 is how much? 2. So that means removing 2 from either side. Removing 2 from either side. But our data is not in a correct order. It's not ascending order. Data is randomly given. So for trimmed mean, ascending order is very important. So first we will do the ascending order. Okay. So if we will do ascending order, our data will be 350. I have already done it. It's unsolved question from your book, so I did it previously. 555, 575, 590, 608, arranging all the values 679. You can also do 1285. Okay. Now removing 2, removing 2, removing 2. So now we can find out trimmed mean 20% will be equal to just adding this and dividing with how many observation? From 10 we removed 4, so number of observation is 6, and it's 540 plus 555 plus 575 plus 590 plus 608 plus 679. That's it. Okay. So this we can calculate. This is our C part. This is our C part, and it's coming to be 591.2. So this trimmed mean was easy because 20% means just 2 data. So we are removing 2 data very easily from the minimum and the maximum outliers. But next part is going to be somewhat tough for you, and this is the last part, D part. Calculate a 15% trimmed mean. Now see, 15% trimmed means 15% of 10 observation means 1.5. Now see, 350, 408, I am copying all these values once again in ascending order. 540, 555, 575, 5, because for trimmed mean first sorting is necessary. Sorting means arranging in the ascending or descending manner also you can do it. It will not affect the answer. 1285. Now see, 1.5 trimmed percent means integral part is 1. So exactly we will remove 1 from either side, 1 data. But what about 0.5 from either side? So we are exactly removing 1. But for 0.5 we will do 0.5 of this and 0.5 of this. Is it okay? Because we can't remove 408 entirely and 815 entirely. And if we are going to trim 1.5 from either side, so how many data we have to remove? Total number of observation we have to remove. Total number of observations to be removed. To be removed is 1.5 from this side and 1.5 from this side. 1.5 from this side and 1.5 from this side. So all together it will be 3. So 3. So new number of observation is 7. New number of observations is 10 minus 3, 7. So what we will do, we will just add all these and divide with 7. So trimmed mean 15% will be equal to 0.5 of 408 plus 540 plus 555 plus 575 plus 590 plus 608 plus 679 plus 0.5 of 815. So this and this you have to think over 7, and then we are dividing with 7. So it will come out to be, when we are dividing with 7, this is coming out to be 593.71. okay, 593.71. so this is the meaning of trimming of 15%. So if certain fraction is coming to be, we can do in such a way. Okay, so trimming means we have to remove this much. So here 0.5% was there, so we removed 0.5 from both the side. Okay, so this was all about in today's class, and next topic we will be starting median in next class. Mean, we are done with the mean and all its concept, and this was our, I think, third class now. So next class will be class 4th. So in class 4th we will be doing median. Okay.